Nation of Fit and 10, it is day 55, and we still have 15 days to go, and you may feel like, well, it's not much. In fact, it is a lot. It's over 20%. We don't run your scans until after the challenge, so it's more than 20%. Every day counts. As much as you may or may not appreciate this, every day counts. As I went on yesterday's little rant to the message of the day, in order to see change, you have to will the change, right? This challenge does not involve any special talent, any genetic predisposition, any super level of IQ, any of that. What it involves, and I said this from the get-go, especially when I do my presentation on it, it just involves lots of this, right? You just need a lot of heart. So it's just about submitting, committing, and executing, right? Submit, commit, and just execute the steps. Now, I know that it may not be easy, especially for some of you, but ultimately that's all it is, right? It's all in your will. It's all in your want to do it, right? And if there's anything you're unsure of, you know that I'm here and you can ask me. Even in class, it doesn't even have to be through the feedback, which, by the way, I've only gotten like 3 feedback, so please send me in that. Please send me in your feedback. I've only got 3, I think. 3 this week. 3 out of 27. That's a bit ridiculous. All right, let's talk about why carbohydrates are important in the diet. Now, carbohydrates are not vital. They are not essential. And there are some people out there who say you don't need them at all. Well, in fact, you don't. But they still play an important role in your diet. And so let's go through some of those some of the reasons why. And this is not an exhaustive list by any means. Some reasons why carbohydrates are important, because I know a lot of you are not getting all your carbohydrates in because you think that this is going to be better for you. All right, so number 1, they are protein sparing. They are the quickest source of energy. And being that they are the quickest source of energy is soon, and actually, let me say one more thing here. When you ingest carbohydrates, you're going to get the most insulin output. When you get insulin output, you cannot have glucagon output, because glucagon's only going to be necessary if your body needs energy, and there's no access to, or there's no readily accessible source of sugar. It's more likely that you will burn through protein, right? So if you've got your sugar levels up, your chances of burning protein are very, 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 very unlikely. Your chances of burning muscle are very, very unlikely. Carbohydrates are the most sparing source of energy that you can get. Okay, so. And this is a really good thing. I know that a lot of you may not think that muscle's not that important, but believe me, it is especially for, it's important for many things, especially for weight loss. Okay, number 2, it's good for your thyroid. All right, so this has been shown time and time again that carbohydrates are really. So what happens if you follow low carbohydrate diet over time is you can slow down your thyroid production, okay, or the amount of available T3 and T4. Okay, so your thyroid produces T4 and ultimately gets converted to T3, and this T3 is really the regulator. Well, the thyroid in itself is the regulator of your metabolism, the sort of the master regulator. So you need that T3, and I should remind you that different tissues can change your T4 into T3, which is great. But the number 1 organ for that is your liver, which is one reason why I'm not having you drinking, because we want the liver to be fully functional. We want it to be super happy. We want it to be super detoxified so it can do its job at, well, among other things, getting that T3 into your body, right? Converting that T4 to T3. Carbohydrates are the quickest source of energy. So this is important, especially when you're working out. They are also very low calorie, not all carbohydrates, but a lot of carbohydrates are low calorie per unit of mass. So what does that mean? Well, when you look at things like fruits and vegetables, you get a lot of bulk, but you don't get a lot of calories, okay? And these are all, fruits and vegetables are carbohydrate sources. They're not fats. Well, there are some exceptions, but for the most part, fruits and vegetables are all carbohydrates. They are low calorie. Most carbohydrate sources are low protein and low fat, which makes them overall low calorie. And a lot of carbohydrate sources, a lot of carbohydrate foods have a lot of water. So again, making them low calorie, but very voluminous. Okay, they are also the only source of fiber. Well, fiber in and of itself is, as I talked about yesterday, fiber is carbohydrate. Okay, it is one form of carbohydrate. So if you want to get fiber in your diet, you've got to get some carbohydrates in your diet. You've got to get fiber. Fiber is a carbohydrate, right? Okay, whether it's soluble or insoluble. All right, so there's 5 reasons why you ought to get carbohydrates, and one direct reason for thyroid production, for healthy thyroid, you want to have some carbohydrates. Remember, if your thyroid is functioning optimally, you are going to have a better regulated, well, let's be more specific here. If your thyroid is not producing enough TSH, or if you have low levels of T3 in your bloodstream, you are going to have a slower metabolism. It's just that simple. Okay, so it is the master regulator for your thyroid. So if you don't believe that carbohydrates play any role in fat burning or metabolism, you are wrong. Okay, let's move along here. Let's get to some questions. How am I doing for time? 7 minutes? Okay, let me see. Let's see. All right, so this person writes, I think the classes sometimes are harder to book. If possibly, great to have a Saturday session. Okay, well, I will tell you right now, you can text Martina. There is it's not advertised, obviously. There are 2 Saturday sessions. There are 2 Saturday sessions which you can attend. Now, these are not lift camps, but you will definitely burn a lot of calories doing these classes. And they are resistance-based, or just less resistance-based. So you could certainly do one of those classes, okay? This being said, most of the classes have free space. Most of the classes have free space. The hardest class to get into, of course, is the 6 a.m. and the 5:15 p.m. But the rest of the classes, there's usually free space. Additional comments, questions. I can feel that my body is adapted to the weight, lifting, where I change a higher endurance. What I really enjoy are the classes. Teach me so much. Okay, so I guess what you're saying is what I really enjoy is the fact that classes are teaching me so much about the muscles that I didn't know existed. Okay, well that's good to hear. Yeah, when you're talking about higher endurance, you're probably referring more to, well, your strength is improving and your stamina is improving, for sure. Okay, message of the day. Message of the day on this day 55. And this goes right along with sort of what I was talking about in the beginning. Here are 2 things you have full control over. You have full control over these 2 things. The effort that you exert, the effort that you put out, your effort, your level of effort, and your attitude. Your level of effort and your attitude. Those are 2 things you have full control over. And these 2 things are a game changer. Again, I think this applies to pretty much anything in life. Okay, with the exception of like professional sports. These 2 things are game changers for, trying to achieve whatever it is you want in life. Your level of effort and your attitude. Those 2 things, with those 2 things, put in the right mode, of course, lots of effort, lots of continued effort, and of course, a very positive attitude, I think you can really achieve anything you want, pretty much. All right, let's leave it at that. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. I'll talk to you all very soon. See you guys.